Welcome back to another video here at NBA Addict TV, where we provide the latest NBA content on the tube. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We are on the road to 1K subscribers. Okay, so this past offseason, the Milwaukee Bucks signed Giannis Antetokounmpo to a 5-year, $228 million contract extension. And prior to Giannis signing the extension, he had a verbal agreement with the Bucks front office that they will continue to put the necessary players around Giannis to make the Bucks a legit championship contender. That started with trading Drew Holiday, sending Eric Bledsoe to the Pelicans and George Hill to the Thunder alongside some draft picks. The Bucks' next move was to acquire Bogdanovich in a sign-and trade from the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Donte DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, and Ersan Ilyasova. But it turns out this deal was finalized way before free agency even started, which violated the NBA's tampering rules, so this deal fell apart. In my opinion, Bogdanovich, I know there are a lot of Bogdanoviches in the league, but stay with me. He would have been a great complementary piece alongside Giannis, adding another shooter to their arsenal. Unfortunately, it did not happen, but all hope is not lost. I think GM NBA Addict TV have found a solution. But first, let's talk about last night's game where the Milwaukee Bucks played against the new-look Brooklyn Nets, and man, it was a hell of a game. These two powerhouses were going back and forth down to the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter to determine who wins. Man, was this game exciting, but ultimately the Nets took the win as Kevin Durant looked unstoppable, which isn't surprising, alongside James Harden as he hit the clutch shot to seal the win. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bucks weren't completely out of this game by any means. In fact, Chris Middleton had the ball in his hands for the last shot, but of course he missed it because Chris Middleton ain't built like that, and they were only down by 2 and Giannis had a wide open lane and they could have sent the game to OT, but instead they took the L. Now, after watching the game, I had a couple of takeaways that I needed to get off my chest. First off, the Brooklyn Nets are legit. They are only vulnerable on the defensive end, which can be fixed with more effort and playing team defense as a whole. Secondly, Giannis cannot be guarded when heading full speed to the rim. If he is given an open lane, he is finishing strong. He is still a liability when it comes to his jump shooting ability. Although he hit a couple threes, he shot 2 of 6 from the 3-point range, and one of those threes he missed was an air ball. Last night the Nets gave Giannis the Ben Simmons treatment, and it worked out in their favor. Now, it is obvious that Middleton is Giannis' Robin, one would say. But after watching Giannis throughout the years, it is becoming evident that Chris Middleton is not the co-star that he needs. Chris Middleton is a bucket and an efficient scorer by all means, but when it comes down to being in championship contention, he could not be the second best player on your team. He just isn't enough. No offense, my boy, but you just ain't it. Now, luckily, Milwaukee fans, we have found the most ideal trade to not only keep Giannis with the Bucks, but to also make this team comparable to the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so this trade will send Chris Middleton and Jalen Adams to the Washington Wizards for Bradley Beal and Ish Smith. You may want to throw in a first-round pick to entice Washington on taking this trade too. Now, I think Washington would finally part ways with Beal because Washington clearly lost any hope of being a playoff team with Thomas Bryant going down with the torn ACL and Russell Westbrook having career lows in his shooting percentages. And they already got rid of Beal's backcourt mate in John Wall. Why not free Beal too? So with this trade, you get a younger shooting guard in Bradley Beal, who is 27 while Middleton is 29. We all know Beal will light it up even at a higher clip than Middleton was. Man, he has that it factor, the ability to take over a game, and Middleton tends to lack that at times. And that is exactly the type of mentality that Giannis needs beside him. Beal is currently averaging 34 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on 49 field goal percentage and 37% from 3. This man is a dog, and he is coming off a year where he averaged 30, which is higher than any points per game that Middleton delivered for the Bucks. Chris Middleton is currently averaging 22 points per game, and Bradley Beal was beating those numbers when he was 23. There's no denying that this man is built different, and he is definitely the guy that the Bucks want on their roster. One may argue that Middleton is way more efficient than Beal, even though not by much, but I would much rather have a player that could explode offensively on a nightly basis. So far this season, Middleton's 3 lowest scoring games were 8 points against the Miami Heat, 12 points against the Detroit Pistons, and 14 points against the Chicago Bulls. Now for Beal, his lowest scoring games were 27 points against the Brooklyn Nets before the Harden trade, where they actually had good defense, 28 points against the Chicago Bulls, and 29 points against the Orlando Magic. In my eyes, Bradley Beal is far more superior to Chris Middleton, and not only would the Bucks get Beal, but also Ish Smith. Now, Ish ain't no scrub. He is a lightning quick point guard that can cut to the basket before you blink. He'll be a nice piece to add to your bench. Now, Giannis made it clear this offseason that he wanted to be on a team that competes for championships, and if the Bucks don't make this move, the Giannis era in Milwaukee may quickly come to an end. With that being said, guys, let me know what you guys think of this move down in the comments, and that's all we got for today, NBA Addicts, and I'll see y'all next video.